We teach kids about honesty from a young age, don't we? We talk to them about telling the truth and not telling lies. And we as adults, we understand honesty too. We know that we're not supposed to cheat on our taxes or call in sick to work when we're craving a beach day. Honesty. You've been learning about how to be honest since your toddler years. But how honest are you with a very important person in your life? Not your spouse or your parent. How honest are you with you? Are you honest with yourself about who you are and where your decisions in life are taking you? How well do you really know yourself? Well, maybe you've seen the advertisements, ads that promise to deliver test results in 6 to 8 weeks, DNA test results with your unique family history, who you really are. Well, I'd seen the ads, and so with a milestone birthday coming up, I asked for a DNA testing kit. The process was surprisingly simple. I downloaded the app and I followed the directions. Then I put the little box in the mail and I waited. Well, I'm not adopted and I didn't expect any big revelations about my unique family history. I know who I am, and yet I was curious. Well, it was the middle of the night when I saw the notification on my phone that my test results were in. Half asleep, I couldn't help myself. I had to look. And so, turning my brightness down low so that I wouldn't wake up my husband, I opened the app. The breakdown didn't surprise me. I know my family history, and what I saw fit that picture, mostly. Now, of the 2 primary areas of the world that my ancestors come from, I expected my makeup to be about 60% from one, maybe 30% from the other, with a couple of other countries making up that last 10% or so. But the percentages in front of me were in fact flipped. I'm 59% from the part of the world that I thought was a minor part of my unique family history. Interesting. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, I was wide awake. Well, in the morning, I called my parents to share my interesting results. My mom's reaction? Total disbelief. I felt my bubble of enthusiasm burst as we talked. I've heard on the news, my mom shared, that these test results are pretty unreliable. Yeah, it is an estimate, I agreed. And the more data in the system, the more accurate the tests will be. Disappointed by the disbelief I was hearing, I switched gears slightly. I read the names of the relatives that I was DNA matched to. Oh, my mom interrupted, that's my cousin's youngest son. I kept reading. My mom recognized more names in my list of DNA matches. You gave them your family information, right? She asked. No, I explained. Just my name, my married name, and my address. Mom, they matched me to the others through my DNA alone. Oh, my mom said. She was still not sold, but she was curious. Now, did the DNA test kit give me the answer to who I am? Well, sort of. It verified for me that I am a part of the family history, part of the stories that I've grown up hearing. That's somehow comforting. And it showed me that there is more about my family history that I don't know. My 59% primary heritage, that would probably make sense if I knew the stories of immigration and movement generations back. And there was one surprise in the test results, one that I'm delighted by. You see, now every March 17th, I can say to my husband, "Kiss me, I'm 4% Irish." So, who am I? Have you asked yourself that question? Have you been honest with yourself? Now, this question goes so much deeper than our DNA or our family history. Maybe it's the milestone birthday I just had, but I've been thinking a lot recently about honesty. Honesty in my relationships with others, and honesty with myself and with God. And so, over the next several weeks, we'll dig deeper into this topic and we'll revisit this theme of honesty. Now, it isn't easy for me to take an honest look at myself. I find it easier to avoid certain parts of my life, to avoid them or distract myself from thinking about them. When I take an honest look at myself and my life, I see things that are out of balance, habits that are unproductive to my walk with God, and things that I need to apologize for. When I take an honest look at myself, I find that there's less thankfulness and gratitude in my daily thoughts and more grumbling than I would like to admit. An honest look at myself can be discouraging. That's why we all regularly avoid that process. But then I remember that in spite of what I find in an honest reflection, God knows me even better than I know myself. He created my DNA in all of its unique complexity. God knows me. He knows you. And He isn't surprised by what He sees when He takes an honest look at each of us. He sees all of the areas of our lives that we're struggling with, and this is how He feels about us. These are His thoughts. We read them in Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. When God takes an honest look at you, that's what He thinks. His thoughts are of peace and of your future, a future with hope. I love this verse. An honest look at myself causes anxiety, worry, tension, but not when God looks at me. He thinks thoughts of peace. That assurance gives me peace. And as we study further on this theme of honesty, I pray that together we can practice honesty and that we can feel just how God honestly feels about each of us, filled with hope.